This is the old. Is it the? I just had a brain fart. I don't know which skidder it is. Boy, this is bad. I'm trying to think. Is this a 660? This is the 660. 660? 660. 660. Yeah, this is the old 660 here. Okay, and this is special. We're saying goodbye to her and goodbye to her. That's the 560. That was my second skidder I started running. We'll go over there next. But as you can tell, we got all kinds of funky stuff going on with this, okay? New tires. Brand new tires on this thing. And she's got stuff going on back here. This skidder is gone. She's heading across the waters. And she's been sold, and she is going way far away to work somewhere else. But before it goes, they're going to get her all fixed up and cleaned up. So I just wanted to make a quick video because it looks all malfunctioned to us because we're used to the grapples on the back, but they got that off. What they're more concerned about over here, or where they're going, is this right here. So they're going to be turning into the old grapple skidder, and you don't got to have that on there if you got that in there, right? Maybe? Yeah. So anyways, I've worked on this thing so many times. I can't even tell you how many times I've had that off, or had that off, or worked under here, or worked in there, or worked on that, or worked on all that. I mean, I've just this is old 660 here. When I started here, this was the main gun. This was the top gun. Yeah, she's getting all redone. This thing here pulled some wood when I first started. I ran it my second week after running the 480 Timberjack, and I thought this was just in heaven running this thing. She had so much power compared to that old wreck I was running. But it's hard to keep stuff like this when we're in the production we're in. When you got to work on this thing all day long, which is how I started, which was a good thing, I think, in the long run, because now I could work on these things with my hands tied behind my back and half my brain tied behind my back. But if I work on it every day, and then I started running a chipper, and I still had to work on it every day because the people who had working didn't know how to work on it. And I had worked on it so much I could get in there and work on anything. So, oh, that was my knee. Oh, mercy. But yeah, it's just, that's your fill tube for your transmission, and it goes all the way up to here. Man, that hurt my shin. Ooh. Anyways, this is getting sent out here and heading over the ocean. She's going far away on her one last leg. She's got new rubbers on her. She's going to get a whole new bunch of new stuff done to her, cleaned out. She ain't been this clean since I've been here, I don't think. But yeah, it was a good girl. She pulled a lot of wood for us when I started. And boy, the carrier bearings I've put in these things, and the drive shafts and the U-joints. Oh, just all great memories. Out in the middle of the woods, stuck, and drive shaft blown apart. I mean, yeah, you can tell the new bolts. New bolts. And we was working on this stuff all the time. Hard to get her to hold together, but we worked it. We got a lot of use out of this thing. The old Timberjack. Yep. But yeah, she's going places, and it's far away from here, and we don't have to see her anymore. And then after working here probably 2 months, I got to run this jewel, and we just hit it off. I mean, we hit it off in a great way. I'd run it for 10 minutes and it would stall. I'd run it for 10 minutes and it would stall. I'd run it for 10 minutes and it would stall. I don't even remember what was wrong with it. There was some, what was it? So it was the fuel solenoid. fuel solenoid. That's for real right there. That's a real deal. And fuel solenoid is shut off. I have to get out and start it up. And oh my goodness, what a mess. But then some over time, this doohickey was put in here. And that's how you shut it on and off, which is not a good safe way to do it if if she catches on fire. Now, next question, John, has this ever caught on fire on you? Oh, we had a fire. We had a fire. I had flames coming higher than just a boiling out of there. It happened at the end of the driveway here. I was running this skidder. I learned my lesson. Mike didn't fire me, which was a good thing. He just chewed me out. He didn't really even chew me out. He knew I screwed up. But what had happened was I started running this skidder, and he told me to blow the radiator out. Now, I had just started here, no clue what I'm doing, and I had to drive the skidder here from a job that was a few miles down the road. Well, I made it just about here. She was hot. She was real hot. And then I blew a radiator line, and I was in an area where I couldn't stop. I had to keep going, and by the time I got here, she was on fire, and I called the shop and says, skidder's on fire at the end of the driveway, and they come out just a flying, and there was two guys in the back of the truck with fire extinguishers, and we got it out. But this was the skidder, and it burned up on the other side mostly. Yeah, you can tell this panel here is different, and that's different, because that's all been repainted. And we just had all kinds of stuff burned up. There was flames just a rolling. I was scared to death. And I learned that day, never ever do I want to fire again. And blowing out my radiator has always been crucial. So, I mean, this is kind of like the other one, a little bit different, but we worked on this thing, and I worked on this thing so stinking much. I'm just, no batteries in there. I am not a fan of these at all, and which if you are, that's totally cool, and it can work great for whatever you're doing. It can work great for you, but for what we're doing, it was just, oh man, I mean, we was changing hoses all the time. We was doing stuff all the time to this thing. It wasn't any fun. But this one's got new tires on her too. They took the back end off her, and yeah, I was never happy with the turn for the grapple on these things. Oh man, oh, I hated that. oh, I hated that. I forget all that stuff till I look at them of how much I hated them, but I really hated them. But they weren't like the worst skidder in the world, but I'm glad I don't have to run them no more. And I'm glad they're going to be gone. But yeah, the old 560, me and her have a lot of good memories. They dehorned this thing, and that was not a good move either. We had problems with the horns. A couple operators got into the back of the chip bands, okay? So we chopped the horns off it, which isn't a big deal unless you're pulling bark, and then it's a big deal, because pushing bark, it would roll up over this. You lift the blade up and you couldn't get it up because it would be all shoved right in here. Not a fan of this dehorning action, so we didn't do any more after that. They were wanting to get them welded back on there because it was just that bad of the stuff coming up over top of it. But the old Cummins, she'll work. I'm not a fan. I didn't like that. That's one of the things I didn't like, was having that underneath the hood, because it just got, I mean, it gets so hot in there, and any little thing that would blow in there, any little thing on that motor, it would not take her long, and she was heating up. But yeah, we had a lot of good memories, me and this girl. Just a rolling back black coal out of there. And man, I would say we pulled a lot of wood, but we pulled We pulled some wood, but not like not like, oh, we just pulled just forest with this thing. And it did pull a lot of wood in its life, but it seemed that I worked on it more than I pulled with it. But it is what it is. The old Timberjack 560 arch grapple. Well, not no more. It's cabler skidder, and bye-bye. Bye-bye. We just push this right here and shut her back down, shut her off. Doors falling off them things. We had all kinds of issues. Then we had somebody that tried to fix that glare, made it 50 times worse. Now you run it and you get a headache because everything's blurry. Yeah. And what you do is, whenever you get one of these skidders, you pull this, back that out as far as you can, get your pressure built right up in that pump, and then you just blow all the hoses right out of this thing. Just, that's how you run them. Right to the floor with the pump turned all the way up. I'm out of here. Just keep rolling. We'll see you later, 560, 660. Nice to know you, but